time to cut off all communication with the outside world. Dust off your old VCR and gather your collection of mixtapes.
Then tease those bangs, put on your favorite pair of leg warmers. The nostalgia bug has bitten, and we're here to scratch the itch.
I'm Odell.
I'm Erin.
It's time to go back where we belong. Hello, peeps. I almost said stabby cool kids.
I mean, it's hard not to say that every time. I expect to hear that from you.
I know. And it's been 2 weeks since we last recorded. So I'm surprised that I hope we have everything set up correctly. Maybe I should check my levels and everything, make sure they're coming. Oh, whatever. Okay.
Did you say a coming? I swear you just said, make sure they're a coming. Okay, girl.
I'm in my funny girl era.
You are.
So what's going on?
You know, not a whole lot. Start of hurricane season down here. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that. I do remember making it through, I think, 3 hurricanes passed
you got
in the
through
general
Ike.
vicinity.
You weren't here for Harvey.
Nope. I left. That was a bad one.
That was
the worst one.
City. The ground lowered by like a couple of millimeters or centimeters, literally lowered. And, you know, last night I had a nightmare that I was staying at like a bay house or something. And everyone was like, oh my God, like looking outside. And I went and looked outside and there was like a tsunami headed for us.
Oh my God.
Was huge. It was a really scary dream. And in it, our friend Holland stole a part from me. I don't know what part it was. I haven't acted in 12 years, but she stole a part from me. And then a tsunami. I don't know what's going on. But now I'm kind of scared of my day, but we'll see.
Nice. Yeah. I do remember I got through Ike. I had my house in. I don't remember the year that Katrina came through and hit New Orleans. And there was one that came and hit Houston. Was it Rita?
Rita hit Houston. Was that the one that like did nothing? Everyone freaked out.
Yeah, that Rita was the one where I evacuated with my roommate.
Yeah.
We went east because it looked like it was going to come to Houston. And so we went east. And then when we came back, we had to drive through all the bullshit because it shifted.
Yeah.
Then there was another one that hit, maybe it was Allison, Tropical Storm Allison.
Oh, yes. Do you want to hear something funny about Allison?
Please.
I had no idea what was happening. No idea. It was huge, but it was huge, like down in the like Rice Village and on 59 and Medical Center and downtown. It was huge. I went to a movie that day over on Dunvale and Westheimer. You and I used to go to that theater all the time. I went to a movie. I came home and I was with our friend Brandon and I turned on the news and I was like, it was raining. I had no idea that was happening. I was shocked to be like, we weren't all that far, but I swear to God, we did not get one drop of rain.
We got rain because I was living in Katy at the time. I remember they sent us home early from work because it started pouring down rain. I worked in the medical center. So I went home and it was raining that night, but not horribly bad. But then we woke up and the woman I lived with at the time, she goes, oh my God, it looks like the Independence Day. Like the way the sky
downtown
was.
And,
yeah.
Oh.
We went, but then she turned on the news and Houston was completely underwater. And it was like,
well, let me tell you, on Westheimer, it was lovely.
Yeah. But like, downtown was fucked.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
Yeah. It was insane. I will never forget that. I can't even remember what movie we saw. Yeah. It was no traffic. Probably because everyone was home and I just did not get the memo that we were having this giant storm come in.
Right. I think that was 2001, like the summer of 2001, because it was just before I met you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't know you when that had happened, but it was right before because I was living with Melinda at the time. So
yeah. Insane. All right. Well, enough about hurricanes and shit. How let's go back to when are we going? June of 1985.
June of 1985.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens. Okay. So let me tell you what was going on then, first of all.
Please do.
So literally Nothing happened on June 28th, 1985, when this movie was actually, the only thing happening was this movie. Mm-hmm. But June 2nd, we have the Tony Awards.
Okay.
And Biloxi Blues won Best Play. Great play.
Okay.
I think it's Neil Simon, isn't it?
I think so.
I'm almost positive. And then Big River, which is the first show I ever did at our old stomping ground. Mm-hmm. Big River won Best Musical. Okay. Now I'm going to disagree with that because it's terrible, but that's great. Good job, you guys. June 3rd, every single weeknight, we could see Larry King live on CNN. Every single weeknight starting June 3rd, 1985 through March of 2010.
Wow.
Kind of impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Larry. June 6th, remember hearing about Dr. Joseph Mengele, whatever. He was the Nazi concentration camp doctor who would like experiment.
Yeah. Didn't they base something on him for American Horror Story?
Yes, they did. In the asylum. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is when his body, I don't know why they do this, but it was located and exhumed. I don't know how they or why.
Yeah, what are they gonna like? His brain's probably
I don't think
gone.
they
can't.
It's not like he was one of the experimentations. I would understand that to understand what happened to all of these people, but his body was located on that day and exhumed. So I guess this is 40 years after the war.
Yeah.
That happened. I don't know why.
Okay.
But there's just a little bit of trivia for you. So in music, there were some I didn't recognize, but I'm sure you will.
In the top 10?
In the top 10. In My House by Mary Jane Girls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have a funny story about that song.
What is that song?
It's kind of a groovy song, but my cousin was down visiting. We were at my grandma's house and we were playing a board game in the kitchen, and her mom was sitting there and that song came on, or no, she had just been singing it. And so it was like, ooh, 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 ooh. And so she's singing that. And my aunt like turns and looks up at the radio, and my cousin's like, oh my God, Mom, you thought my voice was good enough to be on the radio.
Oh,
my aunt's like,
was this Nikki?
No. Yeah.
That is not what I thought. I was looking to see why the radio was playing this.
Yes. And what the hell was going on. And so then her mom, of course, was making fun of her. So that's my memory of that song.
Things Can Only Get Better by Howard Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know it.
I bet if you heard it,
maybe
you would know the beat or the chorus. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting into some things I know. Would I Lie to You by Eurythmics.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears.
That is the best road trip song.
That really is.
When it starts, that little do-do-do-do. And you just imagine yourself with the top down, driving down a country road, breeze blowing, sun shining down. That's immediately what I think of when I hear the start of that song.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Search Is Over by Survivor. Mm-hmm. Don't know it.
Yep.
Maybe that's one I would recognize. Angel by Madonna. What is that? I couldn't remember. I've got to know it though.
Like a
prayer
virgin,
or True Blue?
Like a virgin.
Oh, like a virgin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, now I'm thinking Angel by Robbie Williams. Okay. I don't know. Of course, I know the top four. Raspberry Beret.
Yep.
Prince and the Revolution. A View to a Kill by Duran Duran, which, by the way, seeing them next Friday in concert, very excited.
I was never a Duran Duran fan. I like some of their songs, but not a huge fan of them.
I feel like everyone was either Duran Duran or Depeche Mode. It seemed like those were the two.
And I liked
you weren't either?
Both of them. No,
okay.
I liked some of their songs, but I wasn't like obsessed. I didn't own any of their albums. If they were on a compilation that I had, fine, but I didn't have any of their.
I loved Duran Duran. I loved them more than Depeche Mode. In fact, I didn't get into Depeche Mode really till the 90s when I met our friend Chris, because he loved Depeche Mode. But then there was Studio.
I did love that song. That one and Billy, Don't Forget My Number were.
Oh, that's a good one. I hope your friend Lisa's listening. And
she is. She loves the show, by the way.
How much we love the studio. And then number one,
Little Heaven.
Bryan Adams.
Loved it.
I loved Bryan Adams.
That was the Summer of 16. That was on a Summer of 69 album, which I was
love
obsessed
Summer
with.
of 69 so much. And I'm going to say it. I love the Robin Hood song.
I do too.
Everything I do,
No
I
shame.
do it for you. No shame at all.
The only one of his that I don't like is that "Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman" song.
You and Conrad like gets angry at that song.
Yeah,
oh no, wait, is it Conrad?
Annoying.
No. It's we had a guest over on Here's Drinking with You Kid, Brett. And he was like,
to that episode actually.
He said, because it was in that movie Donnie DeMarco, I think, or something like that.
Don Juan DeMarco.
Don Juan DeMarco. I was mixing Donnie Darko and Don Juan DeMarco. He hates that movie, and the main reason he hates the movie is because of the song. And Conrad actually really likes that song, but I can understand. The one I don't care for is "Cuts Like a Knife."
Yeah, that one's okay.
I just think it's kind of stupid. But man, his softer, oh heaven, everything I do, and then throw in some Summer of 69, girl. Yep. Summer of 69 is when my parents got married. Ayo.
What if they? Never mind.
That's disgusting, and don't think I haven't wondered it already. Okay. So we get our music picks.
Yes, we do.
There's one that's obvious that I picked from the movie. Come on now. Yep. St. Elmo's Fire.
Yes.
Which is
that song when it plays you just start going like this.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? I did a show called Dancing Down Dream Street. And this was one of the songs that we sang and danced to. And it was like, we would turn like one way and face that side of the audience. I could climb the highest mountain, turn. Else the one is you turn forward. And then we do our arms.
Fist bump.
It was so good. It was amazing. So yes, I do want to start punching the air during that one. And it came out that week that the movie was released. It was number 90 when it came out on the top 100. So I picked, do I get one or two others?
You get
just
two.
one.
You get one other. Yeah.
One other. Do you want to tell me yours so that
I would love to? I'm going to go with "You Spin Me Round Like a Record" by Dead or Alive. It was number 38.
You spin me round, baby, round, like a record, baby.
I was going to go with "What About Love" by Heart, but I've already done "Never" by Heart.
Yeah, I looked at "What About Love" by Heart, and then I was like, no. I put down three, and I'm going to say all three, and I want you to pick it because this was really hard. Okay. One was "Glory Days," Bruce Springsteen. That is one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. That was number 17. Another one was "Never Ending Story."
Well, we can't choose that one because we're probably going to watch that movie at some point.
Touche. Let's take that out. Yeah. The other one are "People Are People, So I Should."
I did like that song. Yeah.
You and I should get along. So
let's do "People Are People" because it's
I feel like that goes more with the 80s.
It's kind of a one hit. Yeah.
It was not. How dare you, sir? That was Depeche Mode.
Oh, okay. No.
Oh my God.
I didn't know who it was. Mine was a one hit.
This shows that you were not a fan.
Right. I wasn't like, I liked their songs. Obviously, I just wasn't like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So "You Spin Me Round," St. Elmo's Fire, "Man in Motion," and "People Are People."
People Are People. I think that's a great, sorry, I had to plug in my laptop. I think that's a great mix for 1985. Okay. So Adele, I went down a rabbit hole. I found this YouTube video that was over 20 minutes long. And it was just commercials that were around in June of 1985.
Okay.
I remember these. I only picked the ones that I was like, oh no, I remember seeing that. Okay. And I was only 7 years old in 1985. And that tells you how effective jingles are because I can still remember it. First of all,
13. Okay.
Do you remember Diet Coke would do those commercials with the stars? Like they would have a musician and they'd all be drinking it and then smiling and turning,
Vaguely.
And you'd see like the fizz just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
I remember that jingle.
Yes. So that was popular. And in this month, the big star in it was Andie MacDowell, who was in our movie.
Interesting.
I know, but she was a big model, remember? I mean, she was... Gosh, she's so gorgeous. And her daughter's so gorgeous. The other thing I remember, there was an Ivory shampoo and conditioner commercial.
Okay.
And I didn't remember this one specifically, but it reminded me of all of those shampoo conditioner commercials in the full 80s that were basically softcore porn.
Basically.
It was like the slow motion hair flips and looking at the camera all seductive and brushing the hair. But it was like the soft filter the whole time. I was cracking up watching this. Then there was Duncan Hines, where those stupid it was for the Duncan Hines cookies. Do you remember when those came out, like little cookie bites? And it looked like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And it was all these kids like in raincoats running around singing to the tune of Married with Children. They were singing, crispy, chewy, yummy Duncan Hines are crispy, chewy, taste just like my mom.
I remember that. Yep.
The only one, so much fun. The only one that tastes like mom's does. My goodness, bless you.
That was like multiple sneezes in a row.
It really was. That one I totally remember because I was like, kids aren't commercials. So then, speaking of kids and commercials, there was the Band-Aid commercials.
Oh my God.
No jingle, but they would like, Mom said that when I get a cut, I need to put a Band-Aid on it. Then he takes off the Band-Aid and there's like, no mark that there was ever a cut there. Just smooth skin. And I remember thinking very clearly, that is not what my cuts look like when I take the Band-Aid
I remember
off.
thinking, oh my God, those heal so fast if I put a Band-Aid on.
Exactly. Like you put a Band-Aid on it and I could have gotten shot in the stomach back then and put a Band-Aid on it thinking I'm going to be fine. Do you remember how much they hurt?
Yes.
Like the tape they used to have on them. If you pulled, I did not want to ever put it on like my arm or my legs when I was, hairy. Like, no, it hurt so bad.
Do you remember the I am stuck on Band-Aid?
Band-Aid stuck on me.
And there was that one, right, getting that shit off. But do you remember the one where the little kid had his Band-Aid on and he's like under a waterfall and he's jumping up and down and he's singing that song? And I always used to be so afraid because they would get so close. And I was like, I hope he's wearing shorts because his wiener's going to pop up. He's just a little nerdy kid.
I could not get enough of Jingles. I would never want to leave the TV like at the commercial breaks just for the jingles. Then there was, you'll totally remember this, for Bounce. Jump. And everyone's jumping and it's it's so dumb. Then of course, Miracle Whip. A sandwich just isn't a sandwich without the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
Yes. And now I hate Miracle Whip.
Oh my God.
So much. I used to eat it all the time when I was a kid. I just gagged
a little bit. Yeah.
Like that over mayonnaise. I hated mayonnaise. But then now I can't imagine.
Girl, you best give me the mayonnaise. I'm going to have that crap. Okay. So the other thing I went down a rabbit hole on, because this was the summer that I started watching All My Children.
Okay.
So I looked up what was happening. And damn if I don't remember some of this. I'm not even kidding.
Because my mom watched All My Children. And I was probably watching it too.
Well, Erica Kane was married to Mike. Okay. Yeah. Brooke English. You remember Brooke?
Vaguely.
She was like Erica's big rival. This is one of the reasons. She was a TV anchor woman. She was sent to prison for not revealing a source in a municipal scandal that she exposed.
Oh.
She got out of prison. Brooke and her fiance, Mark, went to a party where a henchman for the corrupt judge tried to shoot them. But Mike, Erica's fiance, I don't think they were married. Her current beau took the bullet instead of letting it hit Brooke. And as he lay dying, Erica spoke their long-delayed wedding vows over his body. So then she found a new reason to love. This is all within like weeks of each other.
Of course, yeah.
She found a new reason to love in Jeremy Hunter, who was an artist who had once saved Mike's life, her honey. But their romance was thwarted at every turn by Jeremy's youthful stepmother, Natalie Hunter. Remember her?
I don't remember Natalie. I remember Opal. Wasn't Opal?
Was Opal that, or was she General Hospital?
She wasn't General Hospital.
Then
I thought Opal was on All My Children.
Then she was this. I'm trying to think of her last name. Opal. She was like the nice granny.
Yeah, she was kind of quirky.
Not like Phoebe Wallingford. Right? On General Hospital.
Right. Yeah.
She was mean and catty, reminded me of my grandmother, not gonna lie. So Natalie, remember she had the evil twin, Janet?
I do. Every soap opera has had an evil twin of some sort.
Do. So she wanted the stepson for herself. Gross. And she decided she needed to get rid of her husband, Alex, but he was very weak-hearted, so she was going to seduce him to death. That's what was going on. Little 7-year-old Erin sitting, I was 6. Seduction. That was the summer I was 6, right before I turned 7. And I remember I had burned my hands on a toaster. I was living in Galveston. I had lost my first tooth. It was a very big summer. I saw Jaws, decided, well, my days in the ocean are gone. And I had to sit with all of this cream on my hands and sit in front of a fan all day because I couldn't, it hurt so bad. That's how I started watching All My Children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. Not to mention at 11:30, I watched Ryan's Hope.
Yep.
It was full 3.5 hours.
Did you ever watch Edge of Night? It was only on for a few years. It came on after General Hospital.
No, 3:00 was my cutoff.
Yeah. See, that was 2 to 2:30. And then that's when we'd get a game show. And then we got Brady Bunch and the Jetsons and Flintstones.
God. I mean, just awesome. Awesome. Okay. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick is Sweet Valley High.
Okay.
Released in June 1985 was number 21, Runaway.
Wait, was it? Why did I have number 20, Crash Landing? Someone was wrong.
I'm going to say it's you because, hold on, I'm going to check.
Well, it depends on, I've noticed that there are like 3 different websites I look at, and one of them is always like behind.
Okay, so
it could have been the one that I looked at.
Yeah, it says June. Wait, where is it? June 1st, 1985, number 21. It says Crash Landing was May of 1985.
Okay.
So June of 1985, from what I have.
That's fine. This was the first Sweet Valley High book that I read.
Was it? Runaway was?
Yes. And then I went back.
Okay. Well, the storyline in this, Jessica is fed up with coming in second to her twin, Elizabeth, and decides to run away with Nikki Shepard to San Francisco. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's friend, Ricky Capaldo, is dealing with it, which I think this is the only book where we see him, dealing with his parents' divorce. His mother won't let his father's parents spend time with him and his little sister.
That bitch.
That's just mean.
Yeah, this is the first book I bought. I saw it at the drugstore. I went shopping with my grandma. I saw it and I was like, oh, I wonder what made her run away. I felt so bad because Jessica looked so sad on the front of that book. Yeah. So I read it and I kind of liked Jessica because I felt bad for her in that one. But then I went back and started at number 1. And then I was like, oh no, she's crazy bitch.
Yeah, she was crazy. All right, that's all I've got for you in 1985. We need to discuss the movie after a break.
All right, let's do it.
7 friends have just finished university and are starting out in their careers. They are having to come to terms with careers having to be more responsible, to fend for themselves, and with all the decisions and issues life throws at them. Some are coping better than others, and some aren't coping at all. St. Elmo's Fire. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Had you seen this before?
No. I had never seen this. I don't know why. I think that when I was little, when I was younger in my late, my early teens and all of that, late elementary, the name of it bugged me.
Yeah. I saw it, but not when it came out, because I would have been 13 at this point. I don't think I saw it until high school. So it was a couple of years later when it came on like HBO or something is when I first saw it. And I don't think I've seen it since, because I was watching, there were pieces of it that I remember, like Demi Moore sitting in a room trying to freeze herself to death.
Oh, I can't.
I remembered that one.
I
remembered the scene at the cabin where Kirby goes up to get Annie McDowell or Dale.
I mean, I hope you can guess what we're doing at the end of this episode.
Therapy?
Yes. Yes, we are. Because this was ridiculous. I had not seen it. So you hadn't seen it. So we were basically coming at this with fresh eyes, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So the top 10 movies going into this week, let's see what we were competing against.
Okay.
Number 10, Secret Admirer. I don't remember that.
Don't remember.
9, Brewster's Millions. Loved that movie.
I remember that one.
8, A View to a Kill. Hello, James Bond. 7, Return to Oz. So freaky and fabulous.
It's so creepy.
So creepy. Number 6, Pritzi's Honor. The little Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston. Number 5, Fletch. Loved anything with Chevy Chase. I was good with it. Number 4, Life Force. Have no idea what that was.
No.
Number 3 is my husband's favorite movie of all time, The Goonies.
Love it.
Of course. Number 2, Rambo, First Blood, Part 2.
Okay. I saw First Blood and then I stopped at that point.
I saw First Blood and I was like, okay, this is a little too much for me.
I remember liking First Blood, but then when they put him back in war, I was like, the dude was obviously traumatized in the first movie. Why'd you send him back to war?
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, it was way too, because I was, again, 7 years old that year. So I remember seeing when it came out on VHS and I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to watch this. No. And number 1, I remember seeing this in the theater, Cocoon.
Yep. I never saw it in the theater, but I do remember seeing that. You know what's crazy? Is a lot of the old people in that movie are my age now.
Yeah. I swear to God.
Was 50 years old in that movie.
Oh my God. We have talked about this over on Here's Drinking with You, Kid, that when you go farther back in the movies and stuff, girl, they aged so quickly. I don't know if it was the drugs. I don't know what it was. If there just wasn't, people were kind of allowed to age just how they age. There wasn't a lot of plastic surgery or anything going on. So I don't know if stars these days would look like that, but you don't look like that.
No, but I feel like back then people were smoking a lot. That was the norm.
It was very unhealthy habits.
Drinking their water. Like I drink at least almost a gallon of water a day. I use moisturizer and shit on my face.
I take care of my, yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't, I'm hot for people their age and older now. So that's weird. And I cannot imagine having ever been hot for Wilford Brimley. No. Bless his soul. I loved him. And Jessica Tandy, my God, she always looked 80 to me.
Right. She came out of the womb looking 80.
She did. But I liked that movie. I did like that movie quite a bit. Movie. Yeah. It was a really sweet movie. So I remember liking it, but at the same time, I was like, ooh, y'all are old.
And I think that's why when I turned 50, I was like, my God, I'm basically knocking on death's door. I need a cocoon.
Right.
So I can live forever. Where are the aliens to take me away?
I hit 40 and full on midlife crisis because I was like, not even midlife. I'm like last quarter right now. And life just is, I'm on the Brimley Road now. I'm just going to go that way. So St. Elmo's Fire comes into all of that. They had a Rotten Tomato score of 42%.
Of critics?
That's the critics.
Okay.
68% audience. Both surprised me. honestly, I felt that it surprised me until I read the consensus, which is pretty great. St. Elmo's Fire is almost peak Brat Pack. It's got the cast, the fashion, yes, and the music, but the characters are too frequently unlikable. Girl,
yeah, I agree.
Totally agree with that. They were so unlikable.
They were, but you know what? I read something that said, who was the writer-director? Joel Schumacher.
Oh,
right?
Joel Schumacher, yeah.
He said that what he was trying to convey was how when we get out of college, we're so self-absorbed and we create so much of our own drama. And that's what he wanted to show, is like, we're in this, we don't know how to adult, but we're thrust into being adults.
Right.
But we're still stuck in that creating drama that we were when we were kids. Yeah. Because we had people there to fix it for us. Okay. And now everybody's creating their own drama and mom and dad aren't there to bail them out and they don't know how to deal with it. And so then you look back at because I can look back at some of the drama that I caused and I was like, oh yeah. So when I read that before I watched the movie. And so I had that in my head. Had I not had that in my head, I think I would have disliked them a lot more than I did.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, me agreeing with that doesn't mean I didn't like the movie. I did really enjoy the movie. I mean, it has, the only thing I was like, where's Molly Ringwald? But I think she was too young at this point.
She was.
But it was Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Andrew McCarthy. Oh, swoon.
Really? So I was never an Andrew McCarthy.
Oh, have you seen him now? I'm going to send you. He is freaking gorgeous.
Really?
He looks way better now than he did then. I just always thought he was so sweet. He just looked like someone you would want to be
Judd Nelson
with.
And
I loved Judd Nelson and Rob Lowe in this one. God, he's so gorgeous.
He was the youngest one of all of them. He was only 19.
Was he?
Yeah, he was only 19.
Who was the oldest?
The rest of so Judd Nelson, Mare Winningham was the oldest. She'd already had 2 kids.
She's always looked 55 to me. To be perfectly honest, she has always looked 55.
But her and Judd Nelson and who was the other one? They were like 25 or 26. And then Demi Moore. Okay. And the rest of them were like 23, 24. And then Rob Lowe was 19.
Funny. Oh, yeah. I mean, he is just a beautiful human being. There was also, your boy, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, Emilio Estevez, and Mare Winningham. Those were the 7 friends. And then, of course, we have Andie MacDowell. God, we're going to go into that. Good God. So in this movie,
I forgot that she was in this.
I had no idea I didn't notice her name at the beginning at all. I'm sure it was listed. She was a big model at the time. But then, I mean, her right when you see her with that hair. Come on now, but all of them, there were some confusing things. I'm not going to lie. Like Rob Lowe's married with a baby, but then he's getting on everybody, which totally makes sense. But then in the group, he's getting on Mare Winningham, ends up taking her virginity. And he's trying to get on Demi Moore. And she's like, and he goes, assume the missionary position. She's like, I wanted a friend. Oh my God.
I loved that line where she said, you break my heart. Then again, you break everyone's heart.
Yes. I would hate to be told that.
Yeah. And it was like, he was drunk. So of course it went all over. So I was like, that's totally true. Like he broke his wife's heart. He broke Mare Winningham's heart. He broke Jules' heart.
All of them. All of them. And then we have, Ali Sheedy plays, I cannot remember. Leslie and Alec are together. Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy. And he's now switched over to working for the Republican Party, which I'm telling you, every time someone does, they become assholes.
Yep.
That's just what happens. Sorry to any switch over Republicans are listening to us right now. You're an asshole. Sorry. No, seriously, it's insane. So he totally becomes one. Ali Sheedy, I kind of love and I kind of don't. She obviously suspected. And it seemed like she's kind of known, but hasn't known for a long time that he was having extramarital, or as she said, extracurricular activities. And so kind of like that she was smart enough to pick up on that. But then at the same time, I'm like, how long have you known, girl?
Right.
Because you've been riding this wave because she was living at his place, like, going all around with, no, I'm not going to marry you, not going to marry you, all of this stuff. So that was a little, And then we have Kevin, who Jules thinks is gay the whole time, and tries to set him up with Ron.
Neighbor.
And what else? That guy's done tons of things.
I know. At first I thought he was Balky from Perfect Strangers, but then.
Oh, I could see that.
Then I had to look him up and it wasn't him.
Yeah, no. So she thinks that he is gay, but he's not. We find out that he's actually really in love with Leslie, who is with Alec, the asshole.
And Jules thought he was in love with Alec.
Yes. Jules is sleeping with her boss. And Billy's trying to get on everyone who's moving. Wendy is this virgin living at home who's also working at a food bank, a little like boring saint.
And she's like super rich.
So rich and so mousy.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you can afford some good 80s clothing and you're not doing it.
Right.
This is annoying. So we find out, I feel like the big climax is we find out, like it all kind of happens at once. Leslie and Alec start this thing, or no, Leslie and Kevin start this thing, and Alec is all pissed off about that, hangs him off of the balcony. That was apparently a thing in the 80s because I see that in so many movies.
Right.
I've never thought to do that to anyone I'm fighting with.
Yep.
And if someone did that to me, like, we're not friends after that.
No.
You tried to murder me. That was attempted murder.
Right.
Because you are not pulling my 900-pound ass up like I'm going to fall. And you just did that. And then we have Emilio Estevez, who played, what was his name? Kirby, obsessed with Andie MacDowell. When he went up to the cabin, was like peering in her window, or to the party that she was at, peering in the window and then walking in all like, what? You are a stalker.
I'm obsessed. Thank you very much. I have a question. At what point would you have taken out a restraining order on him? I wrote that down while I was watching
that moment.
When he went to the party?
When he went to the party. Because before I'd be like, oh, he's wanting to catch up. I would justify it in my head. But when he walks into this like black tie event, soaking wet, telling me he's obsessed. Yep. You have to go now.
There was a lot of obsession in this movie, though, because we had Kirby obsessed with Dale. Wendy was obsessed with Billy, the virgin girl. And then Kevin obsessed with Leslie.
Yeah. Yeah. Psychotic.
Yeah.
These people are psychotic.
They are. But then, when you think back to your early 20s and the people, like you would date someone and you'd kind of get obsessed. Like I remember being in my mid 20s when my ex and I broke up and I moved out, and 2 days later, he's moving someone else in. Now, I didn't want to be with him. But I was
at the same time, you'd like some respect about,
Right. But it was all about my ego. Like I was rid of him. Yeah. But what I didn't see was, thank God you're rid of him. What I saw was, oh, I'm easily replaceable because we're young and stupid,
Yes.
And insecure. Yeah.
However, Odell, let me ask you a question now, because this is going to determine the rest of our friendship. Did you ever walk into the place soaking wet and saying, I'm obsessed, thank you very much?
No, and I never would.
You hide in a car like you should. You drive by, you see what's going on.
Turn off your headlights and you follow them.
Turn off your headlights. Maybe you'll see them, maybe you won't. But what else are you going to do? Go grab some Wendy's at the corner. You sit outside like a proper stalker. You don't walk in and tell them. I'm sorry.
See, I didn't even do that.
You didn't do the drive-by? Oh, yeah, I didn't either. I never did.
No, you just know, how in case you ever want to. But
exactly. No. That's psychotic. Remember, we wanted to do a stakeout once.
We did
on our friend. Yeah, we really wanted to stake out what was going on.
Right.
I still think that would have been awesome.
Mess.
That was a
but then once we learned
mess.
more about what was actually happening, it was like, Get me out of here.
I want nothing to do with it, which says a lot, because I'm willing to go watch like a murder go down. I'm fine with it. But this, I was like, oh, okay, now this is getting too psychotic.
Yep.
Yeah. So the restraint, and then he comes up to the cabin, like he stalks everyone, like, where is she?
Yeah. Like he has
Bitch, it's none of your business.
He's entitled to her. Yeah.
Yes. What the hell?
And then when he threw back and kissed her,
I'm sorry.
He was so proud of himself. Like you get nothing out of this. Like she's
nothing.
You got your kiss.
No, and she's never gonna be, honey. No. It's Andy fucking McDowell. Right. You are 5 foot nothing. It's not gonna happen. It made me, when he tipped her back, all I thought was like, oh, my sciatica. I mean, immediately my back hurt. 'Cause I swear to God, if Adam did that, I would go straight down to the ground and then I'd hit him. I would punch him in the balls. So I'd be like, you don't do that. Not cute.
How funny.
So yeah, all of these people. Oh my God.
Can we talk about the bar scene where Rob Lowe was playing in the band?
Saxophone. Funny story about that.
Yeah, tell me.
Mayor Winningham's brother in real life was one of the people in the band.
Why was Rob Lowe the only one who was sweaty?
I mean,
he was drenched.
Look, we have a saxophonist in our band. I've never seen him look like that. Right. Even close.
I mean, no one else in the band was sweaty. And then did he look like a T-Rex to you when he was playing the saxophone? He was like this.
It didn't, but now that's all I'm going to see. Does everyone look like a T-Rex when playing the saxophone?
I don't know. He did, but he had his
he held it in. So yes.
And then his chest pushed out.
He did really hold it in to his body, which, yeah, that would make you look like a T-Rex.
And I loved how he said, let's rock. And then he starts playing the saxophone. Never have I thought of when someone yells, let's rock. Never did I think, okay, we're coming up on the saxophone part. Like I'm ready for the guitar.
Although, you know what I will say, and it hadn't come out by then, but Lost Boys.
That
saxophonist.
All I could look at was his ass and his crotch because he's doing those little roundabout thrusts.
Yeah, he is.
He can he could play a flute.
I completely, if he busted out a piccolo, I'd be like,
tambourine, whatever, cowbell.
I don't care if he had an egg shaker. We're doing something. We are doing something later. Yes, that's when I can see. That man was playing. And that saxophone was so good in that. But in this one, I couldn't hum you one tune he was playing on that sax. Nope. But he was blowing it and then like yells at his wife's person who's with, which I don't understand the loosey-goosey nature of all of these people. And I'm trying to put myself back in my 20s. But did you ever have like that group of friends like that? This was 7 friends. This was more than the cast of Friends.
Right.
There were 7 of them.
A good group of friends. And there was so my friend Lisa, it was me, Lisa, and then her roommate. I won't say anyone else's names. And then there were these 2 other guys. We hung out with a lot, and Lisa's roommate had a huge crush on one of the guys that we always hung out with. Well, that guy liked Lisa. And so then he and Lisa started dating, and then she got mad at me because I was supposed to help her get together with this dude rather than Lisa get together with this dude. So then the friendship split.
Wow.
At that point. Yeah. But I was never obsessed with my friends like that. I was just happy to have friends because in high school I had a harder time. So I was so close with these people. Like I never fell in love with any of them. I never wanted to date any of them. But there was some drama in some of my friends group because someone would get a crush on someone and they didn't like them back. And then it was like, why are you still friends with them? They broke my heart. And I'm like, well, you should have known. They never showed
they broke your heart.
Interest in you, right?
Yeah. You know who my friend group was in my 20s? You. Everyone else, because girlfriend was, Kathy was away at college. Yeah, she was so I didn't get to see her nearly as often as, we were still extremely close, but I didn't see her as much. But it was you, and then there were supporting players.
Right. Well, Melinda was there too.
Melinda was the big one, but then she went and got married.
Yeah. As
soon as she got married, I was like, well, bye, girl. So yeah, it was like, then it was like you replaced the Melinda place in my life then. And then it was supporting characters. Honestly, through me getting married, like starting to have children. Yeah. That's really what it was. It was fabulous. Like we had the best time. I loved it. Can't believe you moved and ruined everything. But that's okay.
My other note I had.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I would keep interrupting you. Was girl, take the fucking pearls off. When Allie and Andrew or Leslie
they were
what's
doing
his name?
It everywhere.
They did it everywhere. And she had those long pearls on. I'm like, okay, you're in the shower now. Take the fucking pearls off.
You're gonna choke in a second. Or you're gonna break those lovely pearls. You know what? Next time I have sexual intercourse with Adam, I am going to wear pearls. And it won't be from him. Oh! Nice. A couple of little tidbits about this. So 2 doors down from the bar was the Hill Valley Clock Tower from Back to the Future.
Oh, I did remember reading that. Yeah.
This was on the Universal lot. Everything was filmed there. Demi Moore, excuse me, Demi Moore actually had a drug problem in real life. And Joel Schumacher kicked her off the set one time because she was super duper high. So then she went for treatment for about 2 weeks, came back and had a counselor on set with her.
Can you imagine being a coke addict, being kicked off the set of the movie you're on to go to rehab and then have to come back and play a coke addict?
Coke addict.
You know how to play it, but then I feel like that would make you want it more.
It might be really therapeutic though.
That's true.
It really might be. I mean, when my stepfather died, I was in Big River, terrible show. I was in it, sang over the casket of my father. But literally the day he died, I went and did the show that night, sang over the casket of my father. And people were like, what the fuck are you doing? But it was actually quite cathartic. So it may have been the same for her, just kind of work her shit out, you know? The bar was actually based on a place called The Tombs, which is a popular bar at Georgetown University. Emilio Estevez and Demi Moore were dating during this. And in fact,
that's right. I remember them.
They got engaged at one point. Yeah. And I mean, he basically has said she was the love of his life. Like devastated when they broke up. Okay. Do you want to take a break? And then we're going to come back to discuss some therapy for these people?
Let's do it.
Thank you. Okay. Odell, as you know, I am a very big advocate for therapy. Everyone needs it. I don't think anyone needs it more than these people.
Right.
And this is at a time.
It was the 80s. No one did therapy back then.
No one's, they don't have an opportunity to do that at all. No. So let's discuss, if you had to diagnose these people, why would they go to therapy? What is their main issue where they would have to go to therapy? You need to go to work on this. Let's start with Jules.
Oh, Jules has daddy issues.
Oh, totally. That's the first thing I wrote.
I mean, she wanted her stepmom to die so much because she felt like it was her stepmother's responsibility to repair her relationship with her father. Then she kept dating older men.
Yep.
Shunned all of her responsibilities. Yeah. Yeah, definitely
daddy issues. Because we didn't go through with her story, her, as you said at the beginning, trying to freeze herself to death. What is happening?
I've never seen that before.
It's not even snowing outside, honey. You're fine.
She turned on all the fans, opened all the windows, and locked her roommates out.
But, I'm going to try to do that, but I'm going to burn myself to death down here in the summer. Right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to close everything. And just have windows where the sun just penetrates. Okay. What about Billy, Rob Lowe?
Oh God, Billy. I feel like he has dissociative disorder.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He won't fess up to anything.
You're absolutely right. No responsibility for anything.
Right. Yeah.
At all.
Yep.
Until all of a sudden at the end, he's this really good guy and all of this. I mean, he's not, but he's going to go off to New York and be a druggie. They're never going to see him again.
And would you if you were Mayor Winningham's character, who was just pined over him the entire time, she knew he was leaving. Would you have let him bone you before he left?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like
great. I mean, like,
well, that just told me that like she wasn't really in love with him. She just wanted some of that dick.
I think she was in love with him. She was obsessed, knowing that she could never have him. I think she had accepted that.
And then when she had him, she was okay.
And then well, not even okay, but it was just like she had accepted this is not someone who will ever be the person that I want them to be, where they come home every night and they're faithful and we have kids and a family and all that. That's not going to happen with this person.
Mm-hmm.
But I love him anyway. This is really difficult. And you know what? Let's have a moment. I would totally do something like that.
All right.
I would regret it for the rest of my life, but I would do it.
Okay.
So I think that's where she was. Yeah. Okay. So, also with Billy, I feel like there's a bit of a sex addiction.
Yeah.
A little more than like being young and horny.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was a bit of addiction, or maybe just it was burying, his like as a distraction of his own shit.
I feel like that was
feeling like a failure and all of that stuff.
Like he associated love with sex and he felt unlovable. And so he needed that connection though. So he used sex as that connection, maybe.
And maybe see that. That's a good point. I could see that. What about let's look into Mayor Winningham. Wendy.
Okay.
Girl, check your self-esteem and your self-worth.
Yeah, it's a matter of self-worth, self-esteem. Like I associated myself back then. Mm-hmm. I could see a lot of myself in her and in Leslie.
Yes. Okay.
Because I was just kind of there, just happy to be there. And I just wanted to connect with someone. I didn't really care who it was.
Right.
I just wanted to feel a connection.
Yeah. And out of the three girls, Jules was definitely the one who took the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I could see they were the least amount of drama. Definitely Mayor Winningham. Mm-hmm. I mean, even with her obsession with Billy, like no drama. And then Leslie and Alec would just kind of put on the appearance of the perfect couple when not at all being the perfect couple.
Right. So I think Winningham's issue was like self-esteem, but I think Leslie's issue was she didn't have an identity without Alec.
Yes, I totally agree. Totally agree. What about Kevin, Andrew McCarthy? I feel like his is kind of the same with the self-esteem. Like,
yeah, it's just a self-esteem.
He never said anything. He just watched from afar.
Mm-hmm.
Knew that Alec was cheating. Mm-hmm. Still never took that opportunity to say anything.
Yeah.
Just kind of, was too scared or, because he didn't until they were drunk, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I think with that one.
Yeah.
Kirby, he's going to kill someone one day.
Yes, he is. I think he's got borderline personality disorder.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. He is going to murder someone one day.
Yep.
He just will. There's no doubt.
Yep.
Goodness. Okay. And then Alec.
He's a narcissist.
Total narcissist.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my God. All these people, this is a toxic group of people to hang out with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And can I tell you one thing I hated?
Please.
Oh, they did that so many times in the movie.
Uh-huh.
When someone be like, you're such a prick. Oh, stop it.
I read there was that. What was that thing that they did? Yeah,
whatever. Yes,
they did that, and it wasn't in the script, but they did it because when they would be out in public and people would see them because they were stars, and they would whisper, and so, but all they could hear was, blah, 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 and then the people would laugh, and so they were mocking the people who were pointing at them, talking about them and pointing at them. So they put that into the movie.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. That makes me like it a little bit more, but I didn't like it. Never mind. It was really annoying.
Did you know that Joel Schumacher had to fight to cast Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Emilio Estevez, Andrew McCarthy, and Annie McDowell?
I read that because like Rob Lowe was already huge.
Yep.
Apparently at 19 years old.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And I don't even remember I think he'd been in the movie Class with Andrew McCarthy before that.
Okay.
But Ali Sheedy had been in War Games, and so they liked her from that.
Oh, I love War Games.
Had been in a lot of television stuff, and they liked her. But you know what else is funny? Is that so Ali Sheedy, Emilio Estevez, and Judd Nelson had filmed The Breakfast Club. Like they finished filming 6 months before they filmed this. Like Breakfast Club was released in February of 85. And then this was released in June of 85. So they went from playing 16-year-olds to 20-somethings in the same year. And it was when Joel Schumacher was looking for people for the movie, John Hughes recommended the three of them because he had just worked with them for Breakfast Club.
Oh, it was really weird and trippy seeing Judd Nelson and Ali Sheedy kissing.
It was.
I did not enjoy that.
No.
I don't want to see that.
And it's weird to think these movies came out the same year, like within 4 months of each other. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you had Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy, and Judd Nelson back in a movie together, and then we get our newbies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. So I have some trivia for you.
Okay. Well, this is like the real trivia.
The real trivia.
To get the buzzer. Okay.
You need to get the buzzer. Now, I picked trivia all from 1985.
Okay. Well, look
all
at you.
Of these things.
I just pick a card. I'm like, oh, this will do.
I know. This one, like there are cards I picked where I'm just like, no, these, you have a chance for all of them.
You say that.
One of them, I would be surprised if you get. I know. But the other ones, if you think about it, you can do this, Odell. You can do this. All right. You ready?
I think so.
What comic strip made its debut in 1985?
Dilbert.
Oh,
no. Heathcliff.
No.
Garfield.
No.
Okay.
Isn't it Heathcliff and Garfield? Aren't they in the same comic?
No.
Oh, okay. No, Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh.
That was the one I would have been surprised if you got. The other four you could totally get. Just
you say that.
Put on your thinking cap. All right. What road in the U.S. highway system was shut forever in 1985?
Route 66.
Yes. Good job. I was going to put it in my trivia, like at the top, events that happened. Then I was like, no, I'm going to put it down here. I mean, honestly, what other highway system that's famous could you think of besides I-10, which is here?
Right.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Who became the leader of the Soviet Union in 1985?
Mikhail Gorbachev.
Thank you. Okay. I was going to be really upset if you didn't get that one because that was.
I think you've already asked me that one, if I'm not mistaken, but.
Well, I got it wrong. You're welcome. Okay, there you go.
So I learned something.
You're like Stalin, Lenin. I don't know. What game device launched and changed every American kid's life in 1985?
The Nintendo.
Yes.
I'm not even going to use the.
No, do not. And the last one.
Okay.
So you've gotten 3 so far.
I have. I know. You're still ahead of me.
Work.
That's okay.
Last one. What movie received the dubious honor of 11 nominations, no wins?
In 1985?
Yes.
It wasn't Amadeus.
No, it was not.
I don't know.
The Color Purple.
Oh, I didn't realize that was 85.
Yes. 11 nominations, 0 wins.
Yeah, that's a travesty. I hope the new one looks really good.
Yeah, we'll see about. I love that movie so much, and I love the musical on stage. I'm worried about it, like doing the crossover. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so now it's time to spin the wheel.
Yes.
This time Erin has chosen 15 of her favorite movies.
Yes.
When she's growing up.
Oh.
I'm going to shuffle them. And we're going to spin.
We're only shuffling once?
Yep, just once.
Okay.
We go with the first one because these are all ones that we want to watch anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Clueless.
Yay! Oh my God. I watched that not too long ago. It still stands up.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years, but I loved it. I saw it in the theater when it came out. Loved it.
Oh, yeah. God, I wanted all of her outfits. Died for them.
Okay, so next week is one from my list, Where the Boys Are, 1984, that I have not seen probably since I was in high school.
Is this the one with Bette Midler? No,
that's For the Boys.
For the Boys.
No, this is one with Lisa Hartman Black and Paulette from Grease 2. What's her name?
I'm going to hate this, aren't I?
Oh yeah, this is the quintessential 80s movie. Like you have the 80s montage, you have the party with, crashing the party at the rich people's house. Yes. Like it's all of the 80s tropes.
Okay.
Cheesy.
When was it released?
80s,
do you know?
1984.
84. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's not a great movie, but I want to see. It's one of those that
has it withstood the test of time.
Oh no, it has not. It didn't. It was like I can tell you.
I'm not even trying to make it good.
What I can remember of it, it's not a great movie, but it's 80s cheese, which I love. I love me some 80s cheese.
Okay.
So all right. So next week, Where the Boys Are. Week after that is Clueless. Until then, have a great day. Thanks so much for listening. Please be sure to tell all of your friends about us, especially any fellow Gen Xers.
And don't forget to follow us on social media and your favorite podcast app. And be sure you're set to auto download so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star rating.
Don't forget to visit backwherewebelong.com to gain access to our ultimate playlists, pick up some merch, and do a deeper dive into all of our episodes. Thanks again.
We'll see you next week.